So your client was delighted. I had an experience of delight yesterday. I got in yesterday about 3 o'clock. And from researching what I was expecting, you know, I got in, saw the room. It met my expectations. I was certainly satisfied. Now, I went out, found a cigar shop, and I found some great rum, by the way. Anyway, so I had some of that, and I went back to my room last night. And I was delighted. There was a bottle of wine that they delivered with some cheese, and if I don't know why I got picked at random, or someone was kind enough to send this to us, but I was delighted. It was an extraordinary bottle of wine, and I sat on the balcony and I drank the wine and I ate the cheese, and it was a nice offering. I was surprised and exceeded my expectations. So it was wonderful. So anyway, that was my experience for delight. What's that? Which is why I was delighted and you weren't. Yeah. So with all of that, at this point, people talk about being delighted. People rarely talk about being satisfied. So what can you do for your clients to be able to make them delighted? That's moving them through the process. So what can you do in your business? What would be some ways? Good. And so that's great. Certainly do something to surprise. Find something that's meaningful to them and do it. Now, it's going to be different for every client. So it's going to be, and to know what's going to delight them, you've got to know a little bit more about them. And how do you know a little bit more about them? You ask. So, another way for us to be able to keep clients for life is to be proactive. There are changes going on in business, in every industry. If you're still doing things today the way you were doing them 5 years ago, you're running the risk of not keeping customers or clients. Finding ways to innovate. They're expecting you to innovate. They're expecting you to come up with new ways. What worked 5 years ago may not necessarily work today. The product may be the same. The delivery may be the difference. One of the innovations that I've seen as an accounting client is all this stuff is available on digital. It's all easily accessible. I mean, I'm a one-person show. You know, I've got a few independent contractors. We pay a few things, but my payroll, I tried for 5 years doing it myself, and I paid more penalties than it ever would have cost me to be able to get payroll done, which is why I've got him doing my payroll service. Now, all of that being said, I can get the reports anytime I want, all digitally, all through the portal. I can upload information, download information. I don't have to get a big basket and mail it in. It's easy. It's innovative. There may be other ideas that you've got to be able to be innovative in your business, and your clients are expecting you to create innovation and to provide new ways to be able to do business, to make it easy for them to do business. Finding ways to innovate, finding ways to create those opportunities to do things without being asked. Take the initiative to find directions. Sharing best practices. I mean, I know that's what the core of PASBA is all about, is to be able to find ways to share the things that are working and the things that aren't working. So the things that are working, share them and find ways to innovate. Even the fact that if you innovate something and someone doesn't take advantage of it, even if they choose not to take advantage of the innovation, they know you're trying and that they're making changes. Make sense? So, customer care metrics, average dollar sale. Your customer care average dollar sale will be higher than your new customer average dollar sale. because where a customer, when they first come to you, price is one of the primary criteria that they use for making that selection. May not be the number one, but price is one of them. By the time you've built the relationship, your regular price increases that we talked about earlier are going to become less of an issue because you've made all those deposits in the emotional bank account, because you've added value, because it isn't just them getting their monthly statements. The relationship with your firm is more than just those statements. There is more value added to that relationship. Lifetime value of that client. The longer they stay with you, the more revenues are generated. To be able to measure this and find ways to make it longer is all part of what we're talking about for customer care. How many of the different products or services that you offer, that you either have in-house or that you outsource, whether it's financial services, whether it's payroll, whether it's business valuations, any of these things, how many of these kinds of services are they taking advantage of? And if they aren't taking advantage of them, is it because they don't know you don't offer it? Part of that process and that regular communication is the education and letting them know what you offer and how what benefits you can bring. Dollar of margin contribution. What is the gross profit that that client brings to you? And measuring those dollars. And then the number of referrals that they bring to you. There may be others. Are there any other metrics you can think of for customer care, the long-term relationship? Questions? Short, but it's important. It will cost you 6 times less to make a sale to your existing customers and clients than it will to go out and get a new one. Don't devalue your customers. Educate, innovate, and delight. Ooh.